welcome back to the NAVA podcast. I am your host, Emmanuel Marcelo, here today joined by
Omar Lopez. What's up?
Olin Saraseca.
And before we get today's show underway, we do want to remind you that April 26th is the 150th day of school. Administration encourages you to wear your favorite superhero t-shirt. As we all know, Avengers Endgame comes out this Friday. Gentlemen, the main point of our podcast today, Avengers Endgame. Tell me.
So, recently, we have been discussing a lot about this movie, right? So, some plot twists that we're going to go through today is very, very interesting, don't you think, Oli?
Yeah, we got a few theories in mind here that can be supported by a lot of evidence.
Yeah, pretty much. We're pretty much going to be going over what we think is going to be happening in Endgame, which is pretty interesting because there's so much things that's gone on throughout the past movies of the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, of course. Anyways, some of the plot twists that we have in Avengers Endgame is that they're going to be using time, and time is one of the most important elements of the movie.
Right. The Time Stone, in fact. The Time Stone we last saw was in Thanos' Gauntlet, but before that with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange gave over the Time Stone to Thanos when he said it was the only way. By the only way, people are speculating that he could have used the Time Stone in a time loop. This is speculated because the Time Stones glow brighter when being used and have a resting glow when not being used. When Doctor Strange handed it over to Thanos, it was glowing brighter. I apologize. Maybe giving the inference of it being used by Doctor Strange.
That's a good theory. Honestly, I couldn't top anything like that unless, because in the comics it said that Captain Marvel, as we talked about in our last video podcast, that she could actually manipulate time, and that's something new that I found out, that she could actually, go through time without any stones or time machine, which would be pretty cool to see her do it on her own without using any weapons or just stones in general, which would be pretty cool. Also, there's a lot of superheroes coming out in this movie, a lot. Just like Endgame, just like Infinity War, we're gonna be having a lot of superheroes come out and face the mighty Thanos again.
The Mad Titan.
Yeah.
We've got the original six, and I believe it's Nebula,
Rocket Raccoon,
and Captain Marvel. Additionally.
Yeah, that's gonna be really interesting to see. As we all know, this is one of the most ambitious crossover events in cinematic history. It's gonna be really interesting to see how 12 years of cinema comes to close. What are your thoughts on this phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe coming to a close? What are your thoughts on how the movie's gonna play out, how it's gonna end, or how the next 10 years of Marvel is gonna look like?
Well, honestly, I have my own thoughts. Maybe Steve or someone might die. One of the main Avengers, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America. One of those three main ones, because they're the ones leading the Avengers. And if either of them die, I'm guessing that either Captain Marvel is gonna have to step up and be the new Captain America, or even Bucky. He could even hold the shield when Steve passes or something like that. And with the new Avengers coming, including Spider-Man, the Falcon, and Bucky, the Winter Soldier, they might all have their own stories to tell, and they'll just have to continue the legacy of the old Avengers.
Yeah, looking at it from the past 10 to 12 years, like you said, of Marvel, there have been a lot of new fans coming in and a lot of old fans just reawakening, being oh yeah, no, this is great. We have new stuff to look over, and looking for the future of the MCU. We got the branch from 20th Century Fox coming over. We have characters like the X-Men, Deadpool, possibly even Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four. We could be looking at that in the future, and that would be great, just looking at it from what Marvel could do with those characters, especially knowing that Joe and Anthony Russo are looking to have Doctor Doom in the future of the MCU. So that would be good to look at.
Yeah, that's true.
When you look at how Infinity War played, you went into the theater last year not knowing what would happen. Right. You went in there with multiple different theories.
True.
Could you give me your top theory and ending walking into the theater this year, correct?
Okay, so mine starting out, honestly, I have no clue on what might happen, but if I would have to say it, I would say that maybe possibly walking in, I would be thinking that they're gonna be fighting Thanos. They're probably gonna be searching for more answers to where he is, since no one knows where he went, and Thor is gonna be trying to discover who he is again, since he has no one left. All his family members and friends are gone. He has no more of his Asgardian relatives with him anymore, so it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. And then also seeing Steve and Natasha get closer again, debating on what they should do, since they both had a lot of past experiences and stuff like that. And then Tony trying to deal with the loss of Peter Parker, that was like a son figure to him, and Thanos dealing with the death of Gamora. So there's going to be a lot of tears. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of tears when we go into this next phase.
From Infinity War, my standpoint was going in and just looking at the theories that could come true, and none of them came true. The only one that came true was the snap, and that broke hearts. So looking at what I'm looking forward to in Endgame is how the Avengers are gonna be looking to get revenge, to avenge their fallen comrades, like the posters say, avenge the fallen. I'm thinking my theories so far are that the Avengers are gonna rush in, and that could lead to a possible death in just the first 30 minutes. And then we can see like the Avengers broken even further, and either Cap or Iron Man having a deal and having to bring back the team into one unit and get a better plan, either with Scott Lang with the quantum realm, like they said, time vortexes in Ant-Man and the Wasp, or the other theory that I brought up earlier with Doctor Strange and his time loop that he could have set the Avengers on.
Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of the story and stuff like that, let's go aside from that. What do you guys think of the new suits?
Captain America looks sick, man. I really like that suit.
Personally, I personally think those suits kind of distract from the main story of the movie. I mean, we don't know what they're for. We've heard what they're for, but I don't want to go into the movie thinking that they're for one thing.
Right.
They're gonna be for another.
Not be used for the rest of the movie.
Right.
True.
It's like you go into Infinity War thinking you're gonna see the original Captain America suit because you saw it once in a trailer and it didn't appear in the entire movie. And you don't want to go into the theater and come out disappointed.
Right.
True. I mean, other than that, I mean, how about their new rebooted suits, like in general? Like, you know, without the quantum suits, I don't know if that's how they're being called, like Captain's new forged suit, Iron Man's new suit, and then even Ronin, what's his name? Hawkeye.
Yeah.
He has a new suit. He has a sword now too, instead of his classical bow. What do you guys think of that?
The new suits are great. I think the quantum suits, I think Kevin Feige called them the team suits, so he didn't put any like address to any theories like that, so that's leaving more room for more in the movie watching it. But the new suits, looking at how they adapted from the comics, is great. How Iron Man looks is awesome. I really like how they put in the scales for Captain America, like from the original comics.
Yeah,
that's
true.
great. That I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way the movie's been marketed, you've seen Captain America and Iron Man reuniting. You've seen Iron Man returning to Earth. You've seen Nebula and Rocket embracing. You've seen all the characters come back together. I want to know what your thoughts are on the way Marvel approached with the marketing, because as you know, they also marketed Spider-Man,
Right.
Far From Home.
That he's gonna come back.
That's giving a major spoiler to Endgame, but also Endgame's own trailers giving, in my personal opinion, too much to the plot.
Right. Yeah.
Too much revealed already.
I mean, either way, even though that they're showing so much, and they also released the first like 2 trailers of Far From Home, I don't think. Yeah, they've already released 2 out, honestly, and most of them do show a lot, but it doesn't show Tony, and you know, it shows stuff that might be spoiling for Endgame, like how Emmanuel said. But maybe they could be distracting you from the real plot, because they always do that in trailers. They always show you something that never actually happens in the movies.
Right.
So they could be plotting you away from the actual story and showing you different scenes that might be in deleted or, you know, like extended or something like that.
Like what they did for Hulk and Infinity War.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Alright. Okay, so like I think one of the directors said a lot. It's some of the footage from the trailers are the first 15 minutes or the last 15 minutes, like that. And it's a lot of CGI. They put a lot of more scenes that aren't there and a lot of lines that aren't there. Like I brought up, I think earlier today, they're using the same TV spot with different lines in different segments.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like how Tony's line, "We're the Avengers, we can stop anything," and that was in Ultron, and that's an Endgame all of a sudden.
Yeah,
it seems
true.
a little fishy, and it seems a lot of CGI was used.
Yeah,
in the
that's
TV
true.
spots.
Speaking of CGI, a lot of people hated on Iron Man's suit in Infinity War. I wonder if they learned from their mistake and actually went back to like at least having the top piece, because a lot of people were giving backlash on how Tony's suit looked too animated or digital and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're going back to it, because right now it looks good. I never honestly give my opinion on that, because I think it looks amazing either way, but apparently some people think otherwise.
Yeah, that shocked me to see the backlash of his suit. It was when I first saw the Infinity War trailer. It was like, oh, this is great. We're gonna get the bleeding edge tech. That's amazing. I really liked it. And so if we get to see that again in Endgame, that's again cool.
So to close out today's episode, we have, over the past year, a lot of theories have come out to how the movie's gonna end.
Right.
To the quantum realm, to the Stark Gauntlet, to the Ant-Man theory.
Yeah.
Personally, what do you guys think how the movie's gonna end? Do you think it's gonna end by use of the quantum realm, the Stark Gauntlet, time travel, or the Ant-Man theory?
Well, depending on which Ant-Man theory you are talking about,
Yeah.
I don't know which one to actually go up on. I mean, unless you're talking about the one where he goes into someone very, very awkwardly and then it, you know, becomes very big. I don't know if you're talking about that one specifically, but if Tony does end up making his own gauntlet, then I'm pretty sure he'll be able to, you know.
No, dude, it's funny. Aline, go ahead.
Looking at the theories for Endgame, oh god, that Ant-Man theory.
I don't know how many people.
It was first. I don't feel so good, and now it's Ant-Man. Here we go.
The Marvel community is the best community.
Best one to make
Amen
memes.
to that.
Amen. Looking at the theories so far for Endgame, I think we're gonna be either see some time travel or quantum realm. I don't think we're gonna see an Infinity Gauntlet for Tony, unless it somehow uses time travel. I think that's what's gonna happen.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to close out our special edition Avengers Endgame micro podcast. I'm Emmanuel José signing off.
I'm Onisa Seca signing off.
I'm Omar Lopez signing off.
Thank you for listening, and we'll catch y'all later.
See ya.
See ya. Welcome back to the NAVA podcast. I'm Aline Seca.
And I'm Mason May.
Today we're going to be talking about soccer, or more importantly, the Champions League. The Champions League is a European contest conducting of, teams of Europe, going from England to Spain to Germany,
Italy.
to the Dutch, you know. So it is a tournament that Mason can more describe for you.
It's a tournament that is all top European teams are able to get in. It starts with the group stage. And then it goes all the way to the final, the round 16, the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Then the most important part of the whole tournament, the final, where one team can walk out as the winner and the other team can walk out as the loser.
One team can walk out of Europe being kings, and the other will be known as second place,
Yes.
or criers. Right now in the Champions League, as of April 22nd, we are in the semi-finals. We're going to be looking at the matchups of Barcelona versus Liverpool, and Ajax versus Tottenham Spurs. The shocking upset from Spurs in the quarterfinals against Manchester City with virtual assistant referee shutdown. Spurs are going to face Ajax and Barcelona against Liverpool. I said that again. I apologize. So far, my prediction for the Champions League, for the Champions League final, I'm gonna be looking at a Barcelona versus Ajax final because I think Barcelona are strong enough to beat Liverpool, and Ajax are just full of young talent that can totally beat Spurs because they're Spurs. They don't win anything.
I had to disagree with you there. Seeing how Tottenham beat Manchester City 4-4 away with away goals, I think it's going to be Barcelona versus Tottenham. Because seeing how they're great out-and-out attackers. They have Son, Lucas, Harry Kane that might be coming back from injury after the last leg of Manchester City. And I think mainly Hugo Lloris, and then I don't think Onana from the Ajax side is gonna be blocking Son or
Dele Alli,
yeah,
Harry Kane.
yeah.
We're looking at some of the top sides in Europe and some upsets in the sides, like Ajax beating Juve having Cristiano Ronaldo speculated to be one of the best players in history, alongside people like Chiellini, Bonucci, defenders of top class, defenders of pure skill and pure aggression for an Italian side. And looking how Ajax, a Dutch team that has a lot of youngsters, you wouldn't expect them to beat Juve, but they did, and now they're going to be facing Spurs in the semifinals, along with and have a chance at going to the final. For the Barcelona's road to glory, they had a 1-0 victory at Old Trafford. That's Manchester United's home stage, and they had a, I believe, 3-0 victory at Camp Nou. That's Barcelona's home side. So as a Barca fan, that was amazing to watch, seeing how Chris Smalling, a Manchester United defender, said that he had Messi in his back pocket or something like that, and how Messi just shut him down, scoring 2 goals in the quarterfinal. And how looking at our chances against Liverpool, I believe how Liverpool's momentum so far in the English Premier League, I don't think it's that great. And looking at it from a fan standpoint, I think Barcelona can easily top them and head to the final with Ajax.
Well, I believe that Liverpool might at least have a chance in the first leg, because Liverpool use the offside rule way too much when it comes to them playing games, and we also have to think about the 3 out and out strikers for Liverpool. How Mane, Firmino, and Salah, how they play all together is good teamwork, and as defenders like Virgil van Dijk, who's been excellent this season and named the best defender of all in the Premier League.
Right. Yeah, no, Liverpool's side this year started off strong, I have to admit, looking at a possible coming home story for the Premier League. And we're no longer looking at that, seeing how their momentum is shattered a bit from their losses and draws in the past months and weeks. I'm just saying, like, Barcelona, their momentum in La Liga, they're first of the table. Messi's the top scorer in all of Europe, top assister in all of Europe. He's been scoring nonstop. It's a shame he can't do that for his international side. And you know what? Just looking at Barca compared to Liverpool this season, I think Barca have an edge over them. Looking how they have one of the best players of all time, looking how they can easily top Manchester United after having Solskjaer bringing back attacking football to Man United. I think we can have Barca beating another attacking team like Liverpool.
Well, you also have to remember that Jurgen Klopp, a great manager, brought a team as Dortmund who hasn't been winning the league like a long time in the league. I know I lost a breath right there. And how he brought that team and won the league in his first season, I'm not sure, to bring a team that hasn't won like any sort of trophies in a long ass time.
Language Mason, we apologize.
Sorry.
Cut that out.
Basically, he brought that team, and he brought in Robert Lewandowski, now a Bayern Munich striker, a great one, and he brought Royce back in and all that. How he brought these good teams, these good players from the Bundesliga and now how he's playing with Liverpool, seeing how they haven't won the league over I think like 30 years could help him out. And for Barca, they have great history. For Barcelona, they really don't have any history with Champions League. We only won like 5 Champions League games, and then it's been a long time. It's been since 2015 we made to a semifinal.
Right.
And I think since Barca's gonna have a lot of adrenaline when it comes to the Champions League. They're gonna be more focusing on the Champions League, because in the league they can't do anything because they're already winning the league. Because Real can't do anything or Atletico can't do anything. No team can beat them now. So at this point, I believe they're gonna be focusing on the Champions League more than ever.
And how we look back to the beginning of the seasons, how Messi said that he's had some difficult time in Europe, how Barcelona themselves have had difficult time in Europe, and how we're going to be looking at a stronger Messi and how he's going to be more prideful for his club and how he's going to just try his best to get his hands on that trophy, especially for Barcelona.
Let's talk about the 4-4 victory with Tottenham over Manchester City. Manchester City, who is clinging on the table with Liverpool, and people thought they were going to be on the top side of winning Tottenham over the recent history in the league. But push comes to shove, they lost 4-4 on the away goals. It would have been 5-4, but the VAR had something to say with it. People were saying it was just corrupt at that point.
Right.
But I don't believe that, mainly because there's people actually looking at the clips, and I think it was Aguero that got offside, right?
It was Aguero. For those of you who don't know what VAR is, it stands for Video Assistant Referee. It's a new thing. It's a new rule used in soccer where if the ref can't make the call, he will go to a video assistant. There's a person in the booth who looks at the play, who looks at different angles of the play, and will give advice to the referee on the field. And that referee will make that call, and whether it's allowed or not allowed will either depend on the ref or VAR if it comes to it. Like you said, looking at the Man City Spurs upset, I think it's recent developments. We're looking at a Man City. We're looking at a side from Man City that could have easily beat Spurs if it wasn't for VAR, and who could have clinged that semifinal spot. If they could have clinged that semifinal spot if they just pushed harder, I believe, and Spurs wouldn't let them, and Spurs were just kept clinging on to them. And looking at Spurs so far in the Champions League, they have had, I would say, a difficult journey getting here, but I think this is where their suffering ends, and I think this is where they're gonna go home to Wembley.
No, I think it's called the Nike Stadium.
To the Nike Stadium, then. Yeah, but like you said, we're gonna get some players who are coming back, like the Spur Harry Kane, who is a phenomenal striker. He won the Golden Boot at the World Cup last year. I apologize. And just looking at the Spurs side against Ajax, I still think that Ajax have young talent, and Spurs have older talent that aren't going to be as well.
But I think we should step out of the Champions League for a little while and talk about mainly the Premier League, how it's shaping up between Liverpool and Manchester City.
Right. The Premier League this year, it's been explosive. All I can say is it's been explosive. That's the only word I can describe it as. We're looking at the board right now. Looking at the board, how Liverpool are at the top with 88 points, and how Man City are closely following with 86. Tottenham actually are with 67. The reason that there's a vast difference in points is because Man City and Liverpool were on an unbeaten streak at the beginning of the season, and just starting, they've decided to, I guess, get a little bit lazy, causing them to lose a little more and to draw a little more. But nevertheless, we're looking at two sides clinching onto that title, and we could be looking at Liverpool not slipping up this time.
Well, I believe that Liverpool might have a chance. Seeing how Manchester United, like you said, what's his name, Oli, something like that. Can't say his last name, but
Okay,
yeah, there it is. As he brought attacking football back as a failure of Jose Mourinho, when he couldn't done that, he came in and brought back how they were doing good until now. But still, I believe that Manchester United still have a chance to beat City after the 4-0 defeat at Everton. And looking at Liverpool's fixtures goes, they have no sort of competition. And City has only one competition left. It's Manchester United, and that's the only thing they should be really focusing on.
Yeah, the Manchester Derby. Like I said, these are two sides of Europe that are explosive in their football, thanks to their coaches, like Jurgen Klopp being an expert in attacking football, and Pep Guardiola easily putting a new way of football or soccer in Manchester City with the tiki-taka tactic. That's the tactic where you pass to get your opponents to not focus on you that much, I guess. This will open them up, and you can easily score a goal. He was a former coach at Barcelona, and he's coaching right now at Man City. And Manchester have beat Manchester United times and times again recently. And I think Manchester United aren't competition. Looking at how they're shaping up right now, Manchester United aren't having a great season. They're not going to win any trophies. They're not going to qualify for the Champions League. That's what it's looking so far. So I think Man City are going to come into a close second, but I think Liverpool are going to ultimately take it.
Yeah, and I feel like since goal difference will be in effect over this, and I think this should be the last topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's between if it ever comes, I feel like some of the players in Liverpool, the top scorers being Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, coming in, how they're good at with their pace and their dribbling, going through defenses and scoring goals. I believe that goal difference will be in effect at this point, because seeing how Manchester City is 2 points behind Liverpool, I think that's going to really mess them up all through the season, because they can just keep winning games and games and games to the last day, and if they're tied somehow, it'll be goal difference that will stop it.
Yeah, I think to wrap up this podcast, I think the Champions League is going to be explosive. There's going to be a great final. We're going to be looking at possibly a Liverpool champion of England or English football, and I think soccer is having a great year this year. So, this is Olin Saraseca signing off.
And Mason May signing off as well.
See you guys.